Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Sam Capizzi, here at CryptoSomniac. Today is December 29th, Friday, 2018. Today, I bring to you an interview between Jonathan Chow and I about BToken. He is CEO and co-founder of BToken. BToken is basically a company that is seeking to kind of be like a decentralized version of Airbnb, founded in Silicon Valley in San Francisco. And I'll let the interview speak for itself. If you have any questions about what BToken is and what you think, leave your comments in the field below. I'll be interested. It's a new ICO coming up, and I found it very interesting. And just to let you guys know, it was not a paid ICO review or paid interview or anything. I didn't know about the BToken until they reached out to me, but I took a look and thought it would be interesting and just wanted to know a little bit more personally myself. So this was not paid, not sponsored, or whatever. So check it out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I definitely would love to, hear what you guys think about it. And if you have any questions, I'd love to try to answer them myself. So thanks. Hope you guys enjoy it. Just wanted to welcome you. So Jonathan, you are co-founder and CEO of BToken, a new ICO. Do you want to start by introducing yourself and talking about, I guess, sort of your history, where you came from and why, you started, I guess, the BToken and what you guys are doing?
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So I'm John Chow, co-founder and CEO of BToken, which is building a decentralized Airbnb. And then before BToken, I was a tech lead on the security and fraud team at Uber. And of course, blockchain and security go hand in hand. I think my journey with blockchain just increased. I increasingly got more involved as time went on. So a few years ago when I started, I was a very passive investor. I just bought some Bitcoin and Ethereum to diversify.
Yeah.
And then after that, it became a little bit more active. Oh, there's a bunch of token sale projects. It's interesting. Let's read a few white papers. Let's see if maybe one or two of these projects are pretty good. And that turned into a frenzy. And then I think after a certain point, I was spending more time on crypto than I was on my job. And then it just made sense naturally, both from an interest point of view and probably also from a financial point of view, to just go full time on cryptocurrency about 6 months ago.
Okay. That's interesting. It's kind of similar how I got started. I used to be an engineer as well and had the same way, a passive interest, through investing. And, after you see the gains and stuff, you're like, oh, what is this stuff? What is it all about? When did you actually guys start to think about, and I noticed, and on the website, I think it says that two of you are co-founders. And then I was looking at Ali's profile. It looks like on LinkedIn, it says he's also a co-founder. Who started the company? Which of you two or three or even four, if there's more? And when did that start to come together? Was that 6 months ago or was that later? Or?
Yeah, it was about 6 months ago. So I wouldn't claim to have an original idea. I think decentralized Airbnb is pretty standard base use case. And I was just thinking, hey, a lot of these projects that we're looking at, a lot of it's about the execution, and travel is like something we're really passionate about anyways. So I kind of reached out to my network, basically the best people I knew. And a lot more people bit than I thought on starting this. So I think that's kind of how we all got together, because everyone just got on board. So it's me doing like just all the CEO stuff, and then there's Tony, who's our CTO, and then there's Ali, who's our lead engineer, and Min, who's head of biz dev. So and Jordan, who's head of product. So we're kind of all just all got on board and just started going for it.
And so you guys, I think you're based out of San Fran, right? Is that where all of you guys are now, or where are you guys situated, and where do you all work out of? And
yeah, we're all based out of San Francisco, and we just work out of a co-working space. Go there in the morning, leave at night, repeat.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess I totally agree with you. So I think team is huge execution, and I looked at you guys. I see people from Facebook, Google, Uber, Civic, and I think you're right. I mean, I think team is a huge execution and are a huge part of that, and especially when people invest in ICOs. Personally, even when I make investment choices, it's who is behind it, who's doing it, because anyone has a great idea. I mean, I have great ideas, but if someone, is it going to get executed is the more important question. I have a fancy idea, I want to take everyone to Pluto, but if I don't have the team behind me to, get us there, then, what's the point? What do you guys think are your biggest competitors? I have really only one in mind that I can think of. But I'll let you answer the question first, and I'll see if you can guess who I'm thinking about. Sort of, not really, but go ahead. As far as decentralized, I guess you're building like a decentralized market, kind of, and you could probably do decentralized marketplaces in a number of applications. I think Airbnb is kind of just one app. You guys are from Uber. Uber is another app that could be a decentralized market. But, who do you view as your biggest competition?
I think in general let me think. I think in general there's no one really that is interfering with our plan directly, because we're rolling out in San Francisco first to test feasibility of a decentralized Airbnb on a crypto to crypto realm. And in general, I think for the first year, there's no other projects, at least in America, that are doing this. And so we're pretty happy with where we are. We actually think the biggest concern, or I don't even know if I want to quote competitor, is always quoted Airbnb.
Yeah.
They think most people think Airbnb is gonna squash us to death. I think that's the main one.
Yeah.
But I think we're focused on a completely different market segment. We're focused more on the crypto to crypto side.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difficulty. It's like finding the niche without being stepped on by the giant.
Do you think that would be part of your roadmap if Airbnb ever said, yeah, we wanted to adopt what you're doing or buy you out, or I don't know. What are your thoughts with going toe to toe with, say, Airbnb?
Yeah, I think our protocols are pretty much built to be used by anyone. So I don't even know if they need to per se buy us to
utilize you.
Yes, but I do think how big companies work they're so big that like anything they see they just want to eat or acquire. Case in point is Facebook, which buys like every. Yeah. I shouldn't cuss on everything.
Same thing with Google.
Yeah, same thing with Google. So I wouldn't be surprised. But I think the main goal right now is to test a crypto to crypto feasibility mainstream application.
I do want to touch, I guess, on that and the payment in a second, but I guess one thing I saw, kind of, sort of, not really as a competitor, was DNT. Don't know how much you know about them or what they are, but they're basically, I think they give you the tools to build a decentralized marketplace. They're not necessarily a company that's building a decentralized Airbnb. They kind of just create the platform that it could allow you, for instance, to come in, an entrepreneur could come into their platform and, build their decentralized, Airbnb or decentralized Uber or eBay or, whatever kind of marketplace they want to build. That's about all I know about them. I don't know a ton, but do you know anything about them and thought about that at all?
I actually remember very early on in our project, we thought about if we wanted to build on DNT or not. It actually so long ago, I can't actually remember the exact. I don't know. I think we've actually talked to the founders of DNT as well. It's just like those conversations happened so long ago. I can't remember the exact reasons, but I do know what you're talking about. They have an amazing system that lets you build decentralized communities on top of them. But I can't remember off the top of my head.
No worries. The one thing I thought is, I don't know, maybe you have, I'm almost sure that you have more flexibility if you build your own product from scratch as opposed to, being limited to whatever tools they have. But I don't know. Who knows? I like I said, I'm not a founder or anything of their team, so I don't know what offers or services they have. But I have a question. So this kind of goes a little bit into some of the questions that I was actually literally having a call last night with someone about crypto in general, and I mentioned we started talking about the B token and the B project, and something that he proposed is, what is, as a very small percentage of the world is invested into crypto, into Bitcoin, etc. So how do you see the challenges of that'll surely present themselves of being, getting people onto your platform and, saying renting out a home or whatever, and I go and I rent out my home on Airbnb, or I want to go rent someone else's home off Airbnb, and renting that out via crypto. Do you have to, I guess one question is, A, do you have to do it via only the B token? B, could you do it in another crypto? Like, could you pay, for example, in Bitcoin or Ethereum? And C, could you potentially pay in fiat if you wanted to? And yeah, what are your thoughts on that? And then the obstacles, because obviously it's very hard. I just taught my mom and dad actually how to get Bitcoin, and it's taken 4 or 5 years to do that.
Yeah, so I think our first hypothesis is that cryptocurrency will go mainstream, or more mainstream, whichever. And so for us, it makes more sense to focus on cryptocurrency and have it become mainstream rather than chase mainstream.
Yeah.
And secondly, our target demographic is Telegram is a very, very popular chatting application for cryptocurrency. And for us, we have a vibrant Telegram group. So our target user is actually the community, like the community that talks about us, that speculates about us, or trades us, are actually also the people we want to be using our platform. And you probably know this, but basically any crypto user, they're basically not willing to part with their crypto for anything. Like, they're not willing to part with their crypto for fiat, for sure.
Yeah.
The only thing they really do is trade for other coins. And so for us, we actually think one of the only ways that people part with their crypto is for memorable, like, life-changing experience, or whether that's vacation and things of the like. So we actually want them to be our target users rather than a normal Airbnb guest or host who doesn't know much about crypto. So I think these people, they inherently understand the volatility of crypto, inherently understand how it works, and cryptocurrency will go more mainstream. So more our growth rate will be good enough for us. Yeah.
Will there be an opportunity? And I started to read your white paper, and I got through maybe 7 or 8 pages. I literally fell asleep in bed last night reading it, and I want to read the rest because I am pretty interested. And what will you be able to, and maybe this is already answered, so I apologize if it is in there, but will you be able to pay for your services, now that you say you are focused on the crypto users of the market, will you have to pay in the B token, or will you be able to pay in other cryptos like Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Oh, right. So initially, so this is actually our value problem. So we learned it from Binance. And it's funny because when we started this project, Binance Coin was not very big. And now it's getting kind of big. Yeah,
it is. I've seen it. I followed it.
Yeah. And so we took their model, which at the time was innovative.
Yeah.
So, which is basically, if you use Binance Coin on the Binance exchange,
it's cheaper.
You get 50% off. So we do the same thing. If you use B token on our platform, we don't take any commission. But then if you want to use Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other ERC20 token, then we charge a 1 to 2% convenience fee.
Gotcha. That's very interesting. So that was going to be one of my next questions, and I was sure it's somewhere in the white paper. And that's the biggest question that I think most ICOs have is, or that I have for most ICOs, is what is the value proposition of the token? Why can't you do this? And maybe you could even lend more into B itself, beyond just the commission and value prop there. So tell me, what do you think in your eyes, why does the B token need to be created? Tell me what would stop someone from creating a decentralized marketplace which doesn't require the B token at all. For example, paying, what would stop me just from paying in Bitcoin or Ethereum? Aside from the added value of having, you said it's 0 commission? Or is it half like Binance is right now if you pay in B token?
It's 0 for us.
Okay.
But I think you're exactly right in the fact that for us, the main proposition of creating a crypto is to be able to control the token metrics. So for example, I'm not saying we will because it's very scary. If we ever wanted to create a sink or like a burn rate, we wouldn't be able to do that with like Ethereum or Bitcoin. Or if we ever wanted to change platforms to another general blockchain, it would be pretty difficult if we were like coupled that way.
Yeah.
And so for us, I think just maintaining our own currency and also being able to change the token metrics that make sense for our community. Because I think eventually in like 3 or 4 years, we hope that decentralized voting and governance will be such a thing that they can make decisions for our company.
Gotcha.
But you can imagine it if we were built on another. There's really not much governance to be done. You just play with their rule set. And I think having that flexibility in order to build an ecosystem that properly incentivizes us is really important. So you can imagine for us, maybe we want to use our tokens to incentivize the ecosystem and be able to track the ecosystem. Because if you're using a big crypto, not everyone that holds Bitcoin inherently is the same community that is using decentralized everything. Like assuming that BToken doesn't exist, like you cannot map one-to-one, so you wouldn't be able to know who's actually using that. So if you wanted to incentivize or do something for that, it would just be very, very difficult.
Yeah, understood. That makes sense. You just mentioned it. Have you? I guess creating one of your own token gives you the flexibility to move platforms if necessary. What are some of your thoughts on? And maybe there are none yet. Maybe it's not an issue yet. But what are your thoughts on like Ethereum and scaling and the other chains that are offered? I think, in my opinion, I think Ethereum makes the most sense to build on at the moment. But what do you think about the scaling issues of it? I think some of the only use cases are like CryptoKitties at the moment. So what are your thoughts on the genuine use cases of Ethereum at the moment? And I know a lot of the other chains aren't very usable yet. You got things like Cardano and Quantum and Neo and things. A lot of them not necessarily entirely usable yet. But what are your thoughts on that? And would you move platforms? Would you consider moving? And
yeah, I think a lot of us have looked at and also contributed a little bit to the Ethereum code. So we're actually really passionate about Ethereum. I don't I'm not going to play favorites here per se, but we definitely think that the rigor and development of Ethereum is good as well as Plasma. The difficulty is just in I won't go too deep here, but it is basically for Bitcoin and Ethereum they want to verify every single transaction with 100% of the network, and that's why it's slow. Because if you verify with less than 100%, then there might be some type of like phishing attack or missing data attack or just something that might modify the actual block because you don't have 100% consensus. That being said, I think we are very actively tracking the other general blockchains. I don't know if I should talk about which ones I like. I don't know if that's
might be a conflict of interest.
Let me punt on this because we've been approached by a few of the biggest general blockchains. So I don't know if I want to like comment on which ones I like or dislike for conflict of interest reasons. But that being said, I think a lot of them are interesting.
Yeah. I could say the same thing. I mean, I think a lot of them are interesting at this point. Who knows what the future holds?
Yeah, and some of them are still on testnet. So it's
exactly.
kind of like, I don't know, right? So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's even Ethereum in some regard is like I said, not many use cases, if any, really yet. So it's hard to say. I mean, so I think most people tend to go with the obvious Ethereum at the moment. So. I mean, that is a hard question. Just interested in what your thoughts are and whatnot. I took a look, and I honestly don't remember where I found it or saw it, but I'm pretty sure your soft cap is 5 mil, hard cap is 15, unless it was adjusted somewhere. I know I saw those two numbers somewhere, whether that was in the white paper or just online or in an email. I forget where. One thing I like is actually, and is that true? Is that the number?
Yeah. Perfect. Yes. Yeah. Actually, most people don't know our soft cap, so I'm surprised you found it.
I honestly don't remember where I had it because I was trying to pull it up again just to make sure that number was right, but I know I read it somewhere. But I think that's one thing that came to mind is good. I like it because I think a lot of projects raise like 60, 70 mil or something, and one of the biggest questions after like token prop is and team is, how much are they looking to raise? Do they really need, $200 million to do what they're doing? Is that justified? And that's a big question, I think. I'm sure other investors or potential investors think about when, investing in a project. So I thought 15 million was, a reasonable number. I see a lot of projects these days raising like 40 mil and 50 mil, 100 mil. EOS is raising like $1 billion. So anyway, I thought that was good.
Yeah. I think we're really inspired by actually a lot of the general blockchains like Ethereum, Quantum, Neo. They all raised 15 to 18 mil, and they've been wildly successful. And I think for us, you're right. Like we wanted to raise the bare minimum we needed, and go from there. But it's also come with like a lot of problems. Surprisingly, we originally thought we would be like well liked by the community because of our low cap, but really? We'll probably see what happens because, like for example, our pre-sale is 5 mil, but we're oversubscribed by 50x from the interest form. So that means not everyone will like get their allocation, right? So I'm actually like worried that there will be some backlash in terms of like people can't get what they want because the cap is so low. So it's kind of interesting there as well.
Yeah, it is. I know, for instance, I think a lot of potential people wanted to invest in Kyber, and that was, I think, whitelisted and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how to handle that. I guess it's just I don't know how you decide what's fair and what's not fair. But I mean, I guess that comes with it. I mean, if you're only raising so much and only there's so much interest from so many people, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, especially because Ethereum's so high now that like what would have been more Ethereum is now very little Ethereum.
Yeah. So. What is your token count? How many in supply, and how many distributed during the ICO?
Yeah, so we're using a model very similar to Airswap and Civic, obviously, from there. But basically, we have 500 million tokens. We're distributing 30% for pre-sale ICO, which is 150 million. Okay. We're reserving another 30-ish% for the ecosystem. So we see this with Civic and Airswap. They both sold like 33%, use 33% for the ecosystem to like incentivize the two sides to use each other. So basically, like for us, it'll be incentivizing the host, incentivizing the guest, getting partnerships and all that. And then 15% for the team, and I think like 20% for company reserves, something along those lines.
Gotcha. Is there, I know you mentioned Civic, as far as partnerships goes, would there be any? Would Civic be used perhaps as, your form or method of, personal identity? And who else might you think of? In addition, you mentioned some allotment there to partnerships. Who would be that?
Yeah. So I think for now, actually, we're going to be partnering with Uport. Not officially, but we're just using their technology to start. We've had a lot of talks with Consensus, so we're pretty comfortable with that model. That being said, always happy to discuss more partnerships. I think there's a lot of interesting projects out there that we're talking to right now.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to share that that would be interesting for other people to know about that I didn't bring up, or things about the project? Anything that you can think of?
Yeah. No. I give a shout out. Like thank you to the team, thank you to the community. They're amazing, and thank you for having me. And I think other than that. Some of our really popular advisors are Richard, who is co-founder and CEO of QuantStamp, and is personally investing and advising us. I think that will be. We're really thankful for him because QuantStamp has built an amazingly active community. So we definitely see a lot of similar people there. I think another person we're pretty grateful to is Yisul. She's an advisor to Waves and Icon as well, and Nucleus as well, and she's been very helpful in like bridging the gap between Asia and US, and all of our advisors are amazing, but I won't go through them. And also I think very helpful, very thankful to our partners as well. So we're partnering with the Request Network for figure out payments, because just payments is such an interesting space in the blockchain world, and a few other amazing partners. So I think just the collaboration of crypto, it has been very inspirational for us.
Yeah, I think is Request Network in Silicon Valley as well?
No, they're based out of Europe.
Oh, they are. Okay, interesting. I saw that they I think you know what Y Combinator is? I think they are. Isn't Y Combinator out of Silicon Valley? I could be wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're partnered with them.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
it's pretty funny. Yeah, no, I think we're not in Y Combinator, but we definitely see a lot of Y Combinator stuff because QuantStamp actually just entered Y Combinator.
Who's that? Who entered just now?
QuantStamp.
Gotcha.
They entered Y Combinator. Request is from Y Combinator, and then we have some informal advisors who are partners at Y Combinator. So it's just like so much Y Combinator stuff. But I don't think we'll be joining them. But it's cool to see. And there's a few other really interesting projects coming out there as well.
Yeah. I was also going to ask. So if people were interested, what is, I guess, the token price? How many token per se Ether do you get? And what are the dates? I was briefly looking before we called and couldn't find much. I saw the email list to sign up for if you're interested. What are like the official dates of the pre-ICO, the normal ICO? What's the process if someone liked this talk and wanted to go purchase and invest, and at what price they would be doing, and if there's a price or bonus structure for pre versus actual ICO?
Yep. First, I would definitely mention, please join our Telegram. We're super active there.
Okay.
But other than that, our pre-sale starts January 2nd, and then our token sale is January 31st.
Okay.
And or the other, were there any other?
The prices for both, I guess.
All right. So the price per token at ICO is roughly 14 cents.
Okay.
And then we'll be taking the conversion of Ethereum very soon before ICO. We're deciding whether it's either 24 hours before ICO or a weighted average of the last week of January, which is our ICO, to determine the ETH price, and then divide that by the token price to find out the exact conversion rate.
Gotcha. And is there a different price for pre-ICO than ICO?
Yeah, so for pre-ICO, we're offering bonuses. So for the pre-sale, we're offering a 30 to 40% bonus. And then we had a private round before that was mostly for advisors, family, and friends that had a slightly higher bonus. And then that they're all converted at the same time as well. So it's all like their Ethereum will be pegged at the token sale time.
Gotcha. And then what is, I guess, how long? So you said what, the ICO starts the 31st?
Yeah, January 31st.
And then how long is that run for?
I think it runs for 2 or 3 weeks, or if we sell out.
Gotcha. Oh, excellent. Anything else to share other than, I think I hit everything that I wanted to know. I think everyone, I think I answered a lot of questions that I think people would want to know if they're interested. I thank you for taking the time. Yeah,
definitely. Thanks for having me. I think we'll have some exciting news. We'll be releasing, so we're already live on Ethereum testnet on our private alpha. So we'll be releasing news of that soon, and a new website and all that. So I'm really excited to share with everyone soon.
Excellent. Well, I thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay.